Spider-Verse was a perfect film. There is no way this film could have been any better, except there is. Welcome back to Roundtable, I'm Nemo, and you guys already know I have a huge celebrity crush on my boy Tom Holland. This glorious boy's had an incredible run as Spider-Man, often being called the quintessential Spider-Man, or the best actor to play Spider-Man, even by Stan Lee himself, okay, Tom Holland's the real deal. Now, this last year has been incredibly huge for Spider-Man, if you're counting the PS4 game, his role in Infinity War and Endgame, his new movie Far From Home, which is coming out, and the incredible Oscar-winning animated feature, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse was regarded as one of the greatest animated films to come out in recent years, and I personally believe it's one of the best animated films of all time. And with all the Spider-Man goodness going on all at the same time, it's kind of a surprise that it never really crossed over. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse is literally a Spider-Man crossover film. I would have thought for sure they would have fit a cameo in for the current Spider-Man, but they didn't. But it was revealed in a recent interview that they almost did. That's right, according to Tom Holland, at one point he was going to be in Spider-Verse. According to Tom, at one point I was supposed to be in it. Yeah, there was going to be another Peter Parker. It was a scene in a train station or something. It was going to be like an Easter egg. I was going to walk through the background and say like, hey kid or something. Never happened. Heartbroken. And we're heartbroken too, Tom. We're heartbroken too. Now look, this may not seem like anything major to you, just a tiny little cameo, but it would have been really cool to see, acknowledging other parts of the MCU and pulling Spider-Verse closer in towards the overall Marvel narrative that we all know and love. But this isn't the only cameo that was supposed to happen in the movie. Apparently, Tobey Maguire, the original Daddy Spider-Man, was supposed to voice Peter B. Parker. I love the actor that played him. He did a great job, but personally, I feel like that would have just been perfect, especially since it was pretty obvious that that version of Peter Parker was the version from the Raimi movies. And with a cameo idea that incredible, why wasn't Tobey Maguire casted in that role? Well, according to the people behind the movie, he was originally considered to be the older version of Peter, and it would have been perfect, but they were worried about confusion. There were many thoughts about where we could put Tobey Maguire and others. I think after this film, those thoughts might actually have a little more traction. But before this movie, and after introducing the idea of the Spider-Verse to the audience, I think everybody was afraid that it would just really confuse people. But wow, it would have been fun. And it would have been fun, but I totally get why they didn't. So many people remember Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. He's such a fan favorite and he's such a recognizable voice that hearing his voice as a Peter that's basically just like him but looks slightly different would have been super confusing. Even I would have been like, what's happening here? And the only other option would be to literally just insert Tobey Maguire as the older version of Peter. And at that point, it would have been so meta that I don't know what they would have done. Like, would I have paid money to see that? Oh, wholeheartedly. But I get that it was confusing. Although now that the Spider-Verse is established and the movie was such a success, that's even more of a reason for them to include him in the next movie and for this cameo to finally work out. But regardless, it's sad that there was 2 missed opportunities for incredible Spider-Man cameos in the movies. But don't pull the waterworks just yet. It's not all sad. Spider-Verse is definitely getting a sequel, and there's no doubt that these 2 actors wouldn't have a cameo in the next one. They'll probably even throw in old Andrew Garfield. Just get the whole cast back together. This is literally a film about Spider-Man meeting alternate versions of himself. They have no excuse to not include it next time. But let's talk about why it may have been cut. It could have been a thing for time, or it just could have been a scheduling conflict that didn't work out. From the way Tom described it, it was just a short little cameo anyways. It seemed like more of a novelty idea, and there's a very good chance it just didn't pan out. That happens all the time in show business. Tom Holland is definitely a busy actor. But again, it's important to have hope here. Tom Holland's already doing animated movies with Spies in Disguise, and Far From Home literally introduces the idea of multiple dimensions and realities, which literally parallels the concepts in Spider-Verse. This is kind of a reach, but we might see Miles in Peter's universe before we see Peter and Miles. And with talks of even Venom joining the MCU in the near future, who knows what's in store for the Spider-Man franchise coming up. But still, let's have a moment of silence for the cameo that could have been. But as always, I want to know what you guys think about this. Would you have liked that cameo? Would you not? Let us know in those comments below, or tweet to us at Roundtable Vids, or me at Nemo. If you want to consider helping out the Roundtable, you can become a member of the channel or support us on Patreon and get exclusive access to scripts and avatars. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Guys, I'm Nemo. It's a cartoon news video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.